So I'm really trying to understand something, and maybe you guys can help me out for once. Because usually I'm the one doing the talking, but now maybe you can do the talkie and help me understand, right? Because there's this big controversy that's blowing up in Romanian papers. I already made a video about it. But apparently during a football match, one of the players was being disruptive from the bench. And the referee decided to kick him out for breaking the rules. And when pointing out to who the guy is, he goes like, that black man over there. And everyone is furious now because apparently saying that black man is racist. Okay? Now, this is not something that I am saying. This is what the Romanian National Council of Anti-Discrimination is claiming. That by saying the word black, it's racist. And I'm thinking here, and I'm like, okay, well, are all the people that are part of the Black Lives Matter movement now going to be fined by the Romanian Council of Anti-Discrimination? I mean, this is what even some journalists are wondering. Because if by saying black, that's racist, you know, then you have this organization, and it's not just that, all right? Like CNN, which I understand is the world leader in fighting for social justice and against racism, they're also releasing articles such as more than 1,000 black women urge Biden to choose more black women for his cabinet. Look, double racismus in a title according to the Romanian National Council that's fighting against discrimination. Who are these Einsteins? How many universities do you need to graduate in order to become this stupid? How can you make this claim? And you know what I even noticed? That you don't need any sort of consistency. Because I'm willing to bet that they're not going to now go and see every single mainstream media outlet from Romania that use the word black. They're not going to do that. And what, like, are we going to remove this word from the dictionary now? Like, it's not a blacklist, it's an African-American blacklist. Does that make it better? No, seriously, no, come on. Like, I'm just asking a question. Like, to me, this is just very bizarre. Because I notice how the outrage machine is starting to work. Someone makes a claim, and no one engages ideologically with the claim. They just go like, nope, we're going to pretend that it is racist, even though it wasn't racist yesterday. Even though if someone else is going to use it in a different context, it's not going to be. It's just like this guy. You know why? Because it gives us clicks in the papers. It makes us get some ad revenue. It sensationalizes, it angers people, it gets them to click. You know, to me, it's really bizarre because, yes, racism is bad, okay? And accusing someone of racism is one of the worst things you can accuse a person of. So it shouldn't be done lightly. You shouldn't just, like, randomly throw the race card at as many people as you can because eventually it's just going to lose its meaning. You're going to water it down, like, if anything can be considered racism. So I would rather prefer that in a case that is blatantly not racist, that at least the Romanian press would defend a Romanian. Like, you remember when Romanians were called gypsies nonstop in the international press, and it was just like a couple of years ago, like, I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago. UEFA didn't take a stand. No one was outraged. Like, that was just fine. But now, I suppose, like, all of a sudden, this is a problem. So, you know, like, I'm trying to analyze this. The word black isn't a problem, right? Like, again, like, if it is, then why are they called Black Lives Matter and not African Americans Lives Matter? You know, it just doesn't make sense. Again, I didn't went to a university where I can learn about gender studies and whatnot that are the more enlightened universities. I just had the misfortune to go to law school and med school. So I didn't learn about that, you know, like maybe there are some things that have happened when I was studying other useless things. But the word in itself isn't the problem. So the problem would be like, is it wrong if you nominate a person based by the color of their skin, right? So, because this is what happened. I mean, we're talking about the guy noticing someone breaking the rules, and that person had to be punished as quickly as possible so the game can move on. So you don't really have time to have like an intellectual debate on the matter. You don't really have time to waste hours trying to figure out who the person is. Now, normally, yes, in polite society, you shouldn't designate people by the color of their skin. But like, if it's like a 1 second, 2 seconds, like, come on, who is it? Who is it? It's like, okay, well, you see 7 people and one that's of a different race. Like, yeah, you can say the white guy over there if there's like 7 other Chinese people sitting next to him. Like, I wouldn't consider that racist, would you? So if it's not, then why are we pretending that this is? You know, like, it's so obvious of what's going on. Because again, like, the football team that was from Turkey, I understand, they were losing badly. I think it was like 5-0 or something like that. So, you know, like, the guy being like, oh, well, whatever, you know, like, might as well get some publicity. Because like, now the press is just going to not question the narrative whatsoever. Because if we question the narrative, you're part of the problem. You know, even if the accusation is blatantly false, even like if everyone notices that the emperor has absolutely no clothes, if you're the first one to talk about it and question it, then you get into trouble. Then you're in a problematic territory. You can be next. You know, like, what? Why would you defend a racist? It's like, hold on, we haven't established that, okay? We haven't established that there is racism to be involved. I'm very interested to see what UEFA is going to do about this, because if UEFA decides that this is problematic, then they are going to send a precedent. I generally, like, again, do not understand how, like, just a private conversation that's off camera can already be designated as a problem that in any other circumstance it wouldn't. Again, like, if this would have taken place in the NBA, and there was like a white dude and 6 other black people next to him, and it's like, who is disturbing the game? It's like that white dude over there. No one would have complained, honestly. Like, there is no reason to. Unless, like, the guy is very famous and everyone knows him. It's like, okay, it's Messi, it's Beckham. You know, like, someone that everyone knows the name, Ronaldinho. It's like, okay. Or maybe, like, they had a jersey and it's like number 43. Like, yeah, you can use other designators. But when it's just like a heat of the moment thing, and the guy isn't missing an eye or something to stand out, or isn't bald or whatever, yeah, you can say like the black guy. The only reason this would be racist is if you actually considered black to be offensive, which I don't. So it's bizarre. And again, like, CNN does it. Like, CNN, when they're reporting more than 1,000 black women urge Biden to choose more black women for his campaign. Why are you focusing on race, CNN? If this is racist, okay, why are they focusing on the color of their skin? Why don't they use any other type of denomination? Why don't they say 1,000 American women? Why don't they say 1,000 women from Illinois? Like, so apparently it's okay to do it in some circumstances, but it's not okay to do it in others. So, like, if it's a big enough group of people, then you can use the race, but if it's just one person, you can't. Who makes these rules? And can you please give me a draft so I can update myself to them? And why aren't the journalists asking these questions? Because I have seen, like, so many publications just, like, spewing garbage nonstop, just, like, parroting each other. And just, like, you know, like, throwing it out without thinking. And without even caring that at the end of the day, it's a guy's career on the line. You know, he's going to have to feed his wife and kids. And he probably worked really hard to get where he is. And now you're just going to destroy his livelihood over what? Over what? And I would just defend anyone that I would see is being attacked like this. A black person, if he would have been attacked like this, I would be there to defend them. Because it's fucked up. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, right. Rant over. Let me know what you think. Please tell me if you agree with the enlightened council from Romania against discrimination. And do tell me about this in the comment section.